The principals have engaged themselves and discussed the matter. NAPSA has been going around talking to their fellow students. So everything has to be, dealt with from the perspective of the stakeholder that, is participating in this battle. Mr. Ba, what should be done?
Yeah, what we need to do is to ensure that we encourage the school authorities to be very vigilant and do all that is possible within their means to ensure that the schools, the examinations are supervised and invigilated normally in collaboration with WAEC. In doing so, they must ensure that they encourage their students, to be confident, to go to the school, with an open mind, not necessarily, to go and cheat. And also, I think school authorities must realize that you cannot help the candidate all the way through. But once you expose them to good teaching and learning, I think when it comes to the exams, you must allow them to measure up rather than sympathize with them and start giving instructions to your teachers to assist. Because that is one way we have realized that, school authorities get involved in examination malpractice. But we at WAEC do our utmost best to ensure that the exams are conducted, hitch-free. We ensure that our questions, the question papers and everything related to the examination is properly secured and released only at the appropriate time. We also ensure that we post the required number of inspectors, supervisors and invigilators in every school. And then we also ensure our presence in most of the schools. However, I must state that we are limited in that regard for the fact that our number is not that large. But this year, the schools are going to be about 163. Last year, it was less than that. Last year, it was 147. So you will realize that the schools have increased, and every year it happens like that. So WAEC staff may not be present in every school, and even whereas we are present, we may not be present in each classroom. So therefore, because of that, it is the school authorities like the PS emphasize that they must ensure that they are active on the ground and make sure that they deter any possible malpractice. I would like to assure the general public that, like the permanent secretary said, we are not going to tolerate examination malpractice, and we have mechanisms to detect malpractice even outside the classroom. During the marking exercise, we detect a number of cases, and we have processes, whereby we investigate, and at the end of the day, a committee of council will receive those allegations and that scrutinize them and then approve in line with the council's regulations. In such cases, sometimes you find whole results of candidates being cancelled. In the case of, for instance, a school that is involved in malpractice, to an extent that more than half of the candidates are involved in a particular subject. You find that once the case is established, the results of all the candidates involved would be cancelled. In a similar manner, if other forms of malpractice are detected, the rules will apply. So it is not that when, as an invigilator or supervisor, or even a candidate in the exam hall, when you look around, you don't see white officer, you are free to cheat. You must be conscious that we will trace these things, during marking or during our quality checking. So we want to encourage school authorities to prevail on parents, to prevail on the candidates themselves, the parents through their PTA meetings, to encourage them to say that they should ask the students to inculcate the habit of good integrity and ensure that the exams are done hitch-free.
So, Mr. Gabriel, what do you have on this topic?
Yes, exactly, because even when the ministry has come up with policies to go very strongly against examination malpractice, as the PS said, things are on the ground. whatever rules WIC should say, it is always on the ground where you have this examination malpractice. In the presence of the supervisors and the invigilators, they should be very, very careful. You cannot be inside a classroom with your mobile and you receive a call, go and stand outside while examination is going on. Within that minute, anything can happen.
Precisely.
And the invigilator, as the PS said, once you are there, you the very supervisor too, you should go around and see what is happening. You cannot be there from the beginning of the examination, from 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you are sitting in one place. I think we should look at that very closely. And the principals too as well. In fact, in our list dash conference on the 23rd, 24th, it was an issue that we discussed. We will not support, as conference, support any principal or any teacher who is involved in examination malpractice. You are helping a student, we will not come out to help you. And it has to be very clear from the beginning. Parents too have a role to play. I mentioned here the last time. You scare your children and telling them that if you don't pass examination, you will not go on holidays, we will not eat here, we will not buy you food, we will not give you this. All these things scare the student. The child sitting to the examination, realizing that if I don't pass this examination, I will not receive a good treatment in the house. Yes, like you are a child and that's the feeling that you have. You will go extra length to make sure you pass that examination. But as head of national office said, they should understand. If you are not caught on the ground during marking, you will be caught. I think these are the things that they have to look at very closely. So this is very important to mention to the students.
Okay, Mr. Boyd,
So Louis, I don't know if I can chip in the issue of mobile phones. I just want to warn students or candidates that the issue of mobile phones does not really help, because the amount of text that you get from the mobile phone will not definitely serve your purpose. And most often, some of these guest questions and answers that you get on your mobile phones are maybe relevant, to only one item of a question, if you are very lucky. And that item may not carry more than 1 mark or 2 marks. So you realize that a paper of 100 marks, you waste your time, to acquire just 1 or 2 marks will not help you pass. So I think, this issue of mobile phone, cheating through mobile phone is more of fancy than reality. So we want to discourage everybody, that carries around a mobile phone. In fact, it is not allowed for a candidate to have mobile phones in their exam hall. So I wanted to draw that point home. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Boyd?
Yes, I just wanted to also emphasize the fact that if you are not caught in the examination hall, there is a high probability you will be caught. So I think you have to be warned not to be involved in any form of examination malpractice. Now, for me, I have listed about 5 participants in the exam. First of all is the principal, who will sometimes have a supervisor, the teachers who are going to be invigilators, the students, the parents, and WIC. These are the principal participants in the exam. All of them have a role to play. And every one of this category must play their roles correctly in order to avoid free examination, any examination free from malpractice. For example, the principal must understand he or she is the head of the institution. He or she should respect himself or herself, and then just you have to have some amount of pride in yourself. That is, you have to be honest and make sure that you have the zeal to you have to have the courage to insist that the rules are obeyed. You have to appoint a supervisor who is honest, who that the integrity of your teachers. So whoever is going to be a supervisor has to be somebody of high integrity. And then as somebody also said, the principal should be owned. You take ownership. You should take complete ownership. You are the authority in that exam, and you are responsible. If there is any malpractice, you are going to be held responsible. Now the teachers, as the head of national office says, why do we have to sympathize with the students? You make sure that you do your job. If you take the students properly, there is no need to engage in any form of help. that is going to encourage any form of examination